When we were the hunters and gatherers, we were not reactive. We took our tribe, we surrounded our prey, and we were patient. Because of social media now, because of porn, because of our addictions, we have zero patience. We have to slow down, we have to be more stoic, and we have to be more thoughtful, just like when we're going out for that prey. We're not that anymore. We're reactive, we're emotional.
Welcome to Staggering Men podcast, where we aim to make men masculine again. I'm your man, Nicky Billou, and we have a very special guest today, the founder of Hyperactive Men, Shane Wicks. Welcome to the show, Shane.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Nicky. I appreciate you having me on here.
Thanks for coming on the show, brother. Shane, you and I have met. We spent quite a bit of time talking to each other because you were early to dinner than every two, and so was I. And I found your story fascinating, but I'd really love for you to just start by sharing with everybody, revealing to everybody why you decided to get involved in men's work and begin a men's organization.
Oh boy, we don't have that much time, Nicky. So listen, we all have trauma. We've all been through a lot of BS in our lives. And I started this because there's so much power with women. There's so many things going on with women, and there wasn't enough for men. I did some research, and basically the ratio is 200 to 1 when it comes to women's health, women's power, all that stuff. There was just nothing out there for guys like us. There's lots of business networking. There's tons of that stuff, but there's not enough for guys to take off the masks and just be themselves. We're all wearing masks. We're all pretending to be something that we're not. We can't be ourselves. We all have to showboat. We all have to be that actor on stage 24/7. So I developed a place. I took some practicals from Carl Jung. I took some theses from Dan Keeley. I kind of put them together into my own. I made a lot of practicals myself where we kind of just be dudes, talk about things, and put a lot of things into practice to build confidence. So that's basically what Hyperactive is all about.
So this statistic is mind-blowing to me. There are 200 resources for women for every one resource there is for men.
Yes, sir.
Is that not a shocking statistic?
Well, look, no, it's not actually, because look at the woman power movement. I mean, look how. So yes, men have so much dominance in so many different realms, and women's power has been since the 1960s, 1970s. They have been working so hard for equality, for all of this stuff, where all of us, we've just been pushed aside. So it's really not surprising how much that ratio is so dominating compared to men. We just haven't said, hey, we need help. And I'm not saying we need help because we're handsies, but there's no place for us to actually talk about things. Hey, your kid died. Well, let's just move on. You know, when I was young, I had a son, and he died at 3 months.
Jeez.
He died on a Sunday, and I went to work on Monday. I didn't take any time for myself. I just went to work.
Wow.
And that's what we do. And that's just one trauma. That's what we do as men. We just push. And that's all we do.
Shane, I've been studying this. I did my first men's program in 2008 with a fellow named Justin Sterling. It's called the Sterling Men's Weekend. He just passed away in March 2025. He'd been teaching his programs since the late 70s for men. Hundreds of thousands of men in Canada and the United States went through his programs. And a man that I was in a network marketing business with just kept bugging me to go until I finally, to get him off my back, said, I'll go. Fuck off. I'll go. Right.
Yeah.
And when I went, I understood why he was so adamant that I should do it. It was one of the most powerful, positive experiences of my life as a man. And shortly after I attended, life got in the way and I stopped going to the ongoing men's groups that were a part of it. I've always considered myself a man's man, a masculine man. But as time went on and I got into this work in a deeper way, I started to see all the things that I thought were masculine about me really weren't very masculine at all. In fact, in many ways, I'd become a feminized man. I was a man who let his emotions run away with him. I get angry and I would use that anger to get my way. And I thought, this is masculine. Nah, it's actually feminized. It's not masculine at all. And for years, I behaved in a feminized manner without even understanding I was behaving in a feminized manner. And then I saw our society go from one where men were, revered, honored, and things like honor, sacrifice, and keeping your word used to be really important, and they weren't so important anymore. And I started asking myself, well, how'd this happen? This didn't just happen by accident. All of a sudden, the ether didn't change and go, okay, you men are going to become pussies and women are going to become empowered. So I looked into it, and this appears to have been a very deliberate, targeted effort, multi-generational effort by forces that wanted to weaken our civilization. And they realized that if you have strong men in your civilization, you can't weaken it. So we got to weaken men first. So they started attacking men. And men just said, oh, okay, well, maybe they're right. Maybe we have been too dominant. Maybe we have been too chauvinistic and all that. But it was a load of bullshit. It was a load of bullshit because the objective wasn't to uplift women. The objective was to separate men and women from one another. And the objective was to turn women against men and have men be defensive. Because we're not going to attack women, we're men. Like, we're supposed to protect and defend women. And when all this became clear to me, I started to realize, holy crap, we need men that are going to speak up for men. We need men that are going to start saying, hey, we not only do we matter, not only are we important, we are the bedrock of our society, and we have to have places where men can go and be celebrated and be looked at as valuable members of our society and our civilization. And I saw this, and I started to see there was a lot of other men that were seeing this, that started to build groups. There's a fella in Utah named Ryan Mickler. He does something called the Order of Men. He's got 1,200 men that are part of this group. There's another guy named Larry Hagner out of Kansas City, Missouri. He's got about 600 and 700 men now that are part of his Dad Edge Alliance. And there's a proliferation of groups like your own that are out there doing this work. And for me, the reason I want to bring folks like you on my show is because I want people to listen to this and listen, this is real. This is serious. Men need help. This ratio of 200 resources for women to 1 for men is messed up and is going to lead to our civilization being utterly destroyed if we don't turn it around. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, Shane.
I agree with you 100%. The thing is, when we were the hunters and gatherers, we were not reactive. We took our tribe, we surrounded our prey, and we were patient. Yeah. Because of social media now, because of porn, because of our addictions, because of anything, we have zero patience anymore. And the thing is we have to slow down. We have to be more stoic, and we have to be more thoughtful, just like when we were going out for that prey. We're not that anymore. We're reactive. We're emotional, like you said. And I honestly thank you very much for bringing that up. And I appreciate you telling me that, because that is tough. And to be honest, I was in a severe depression for the last 3 years, and I was extremely reactive. And it took me a divorce. It took me, suicidal idealizations. It took me all of this stuff for me to stop, get kicked out of my house, just go through the process of self-healing and become patient again. And what I realized is we're all in the same boat, dude. Like, we are all struggling. We have no patience. We're reactive. And like you said, we feminized ourselves by getting emotional. And I'm literally Kermit the Frog. It's that time where we have to slow down, relax, and just process everything. And in our men's group, I saw everyone getting around and everyone had amazing ideas. And we had that fantastic mastermind that you put on. Thank you for that. But at the same time, everybody that was there was lost. And we all need direction and we all need help. And we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to ask. And you know what? You don't even have to ask. You just need to show up, just like you did in that group you did. And you're like, and that's the thing is with hyperactive, everyone thinks it's that hippie guru stuff. Someone's going to have a man bun and all that stuff. But when they come, many of your friends that came, and that's how we connected, they said to me, they're like, I didn't realize I needed this until I showed up. And they keep showing up every week. And our program's getting launched online, or we've just been approved with our apps. Apple just approved our app. Google's approving our app. Once our app gets launched, we're hoping to be national in the next year to 2 years and go international in 3 to 5 years. So everything's flowing really well, just so we can hit more people. And for me, there's no connection for men anymore. Like my biggest thing, my biggest want, my biggest need is military guys. And I think I was telling you this in person, is when they retire and they go civilian, they have zero connection anymore. So I want to bring them that connection. I want to be, hey, brother, you're not alone anymore, because they lose so much of that family orientation when they leave the military. They're on their own again, first time in their life. And it's overwhelming. And that's just something, like, I have a bunch of buddies who are special forces, military. I brought them back from the brink of suicide, and I just, hey man, come to this. And it works.
When I interviewed Ryan Mickler, right? Order of Man, 1,200 members. And his podcast has had close to 50 million downloads, right? He's had David Goggins on his podcast. He's had Steven Ranella on his podcast. He's had, God, what's the name of that guy who wrote Braveheart? Randall.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, Randall's his first name. Right now, his last name's escaping me. But he's had some serious dudes on his podcast. And, he's got 1,200 members. I did some math. Math is my strong suit. I'm good with numbers. On planet Earth right now, there's 8.4 billion people, right? Let's just say a little less than half are men.
Yes.
Let's say 4 billion men. And let's say that out of these 4 billion men, 4 billion, 3.9 billion are lost. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, absolutely.
Lost.
No direction.
No, just bear with me. I'm good with numbers. Remember, I'm very good with numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, Shane, that you get your organization up to 100,000 men. Okay, 100,000. That's a good number, right? You know how much a dent you've made in this 3.9 billion?
Barely a speck of dust.
For us to make a real dent, we need 100,000 Nicky Billous and Shane Wicks, each of whom independently are impacting and leading 100,000 men. If we do that, we got a
better chance.
We got a better chance.
Well, here's the thing, dude. We shouldn't be doing this individually. We should be teaming up and fighting the world like superheroes, the Avengers. That's what we should be doing.
I should say, 1,000 men like us having 100,000 men would be 1 billion. 4,000 men like us would be 4 billion. So we would need 4,000 groups of 100,000 men. And let me assure you, there are no groups of men that are as big as 100,000. I don't even know if there are groups of men that are as big as 10,000.
Right.
Think about that. Think about how freaking crazy that is. Okay. Actually, yeah. 0, that's 4 billion. Yeah. Fucking A. How crazy that is, man. How nutty that is. So to me, like when I brought Ryan on, he's going, you run a group, I run a group. I mean, don't you think we're competing? I'm like, what? Competing? Really?
No way.
I'm like, dude, I want you to be 100 times as big as you are today. He said, what? I said, yeah. I said, if you're 100 times as big as you are today, and every other man we know in the men's group who's a legitimate good dude and knows what he's fucking doing, because there's sadly way too many have no fucking clue. They're just good marketers. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, if we all are 100 times bigger than we are today, we won't make a dent in the problem. And he just looked at me and he said, you're right. He stopped thinking about competing anymore. That day, he stopped thinking about competing anymore. He was like, any man in this space is my brother. I'm going to help him. You know, and this is why, like, I talked to some men I know who are part of our group, and I told them I'm interviewing. I didn't mention your name or your name of your group or nothing. I just said, I'm interviewing the dude who runs the group. And they're like, well, we have a group. Why do you want to promote his group? I'm like, what are you, nuts? Do you know how few people are in groups? Do you know how few people, like, I mean, if we can help this guy win, that's our job. Our job isn't just our group, our tribe. Our job is all of men, all of mankind.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what people have to understand, because today, right now, men are fucked.
We're too emotional. We need to slow down, you know, like I said earlier. We just need to, and the problem is, and everybody wants to be a leader, but they don't have the skills to be a leader. They're like, oh, I can do that. I'm that guy. People will listen to me, but that's ego talking. You know, again, when people are hunting, you know, like you change that guy's perspective. Oh, we're competing. No, man, it's not competing. We're working together for a greater good. And again, it's not, hey, we're men, we're the best, we're this. No, it's, you can talk, you can be who you are. You don't have to put on that mask. You don't have to act. And that's the biggest thing. And that's what's missing, is just someone that they can be themselves, say what they want to say, respectful, and have those respectful conversations. Hey, you and I might not agree on everything. We may not agree on politics. We may not agree on whatever, but we can have that conversation without. And that's what civilized dudes are.
Yeah, you know, I have a high council in my organization. There's 7 of us in the high council, and they help me run the group. And the reason that I have a high council is because when I was doing everything myself, Shane, I was exhausted, man. I was freaking exhausted. You know, I'm 58. I'll be 59 next month. I want to make it to my mid 90s with as much energy and vitality as I have today. So that's the selfish part of having a high council, is I want to reduce the workload. But this thing can only grow if it's about more than just me. It needs to be an organization. I can be the leader, the figurehead, whatever you want to call it. But right now, the interesting thing is I very rarely lead meetings anymore. I'm the face and the voice of the movement. I come and do the podcasts. I do events, but I hardly ever lead meetings. There's other men that lead meetings. Now, the man that was going to lead our half-year kind of kickoff, he's getting married, and his wife just, laid down the hammer and said, our wedding's in 2 weeks. You need to be with me planning the wedding. You can't be with your men. And she's usually very patient about it all. And he said, look, I need to make a withdrawal from the trust account. I can't make the meeting. And he was running this. He was running it. It was all in his hands. I'm like, no problem. I'll, give it to me. I know how to run these meetings. Who else have you asked to help? He told me the name of four men. And these 4 men are gonna be there. They each have a section to do. I got a section to do. We're good. We're good. And what's really good about it is that I don't do lots. I used to do everything. Now I don't do lots. What I do is when it's time to ask a man if he's ready to join our organization, I usually do that because I'm still the best at that in our organization by far. Like my conversion ratio is like close to 70% when I ask a man to come be with us, and the other men aren't close. I'd like to have someone be as good as me or even better than me, but at the moment they're not. So I do that and step in when I feel something needs to be said, but I shut up a lot. I shut up a lot. And that's good. That's helping the organization grow. That's helping other men step up in leadership. It's a good thing, man. I just want to see more men step up. So when I heard about what you're doing, and Luis is a part of it, Luis is a man I greatly respect. I really wanted to meet you. I wanted to see what you do. And I wanted to have you share your message, your vision with everybody in my world anyways.
Thank you. And Luis, honestly, since he started with Hyperactive, I told him this. So we meet every Friday, and our Zoom calls will start coming up every week on a Wednesday night. But so Luis has been with us for about 3 months now. And the dramatic change from him from 3 months ago to now, amazing. The mask is off. He's more himself. You know, when he first started coming, he was, "Ugh," and now he's just relaxed and he enjoys it. And he just, it's one of his favorite things to do in the week. And you can tell.
Yeah.
And he's just one of many of the guys that come. So he's fantastic. He's a great connection.
No, he's a good man. He's a good man.
Absolutely.
So you are based in Ottawa, Ontario, yes, Canada. That's Canada's capital. Tell me a little bit about how your process of introducing your work to men works.
Define process, our introductions.
Yeah, how do you do it? Like, do you have a process? Have you thought through how do we introduce this work to men?
So, you know, it's like you. I'm on the street and I'm on the beat all the time, introducing myself. So I'm part of a lot of organizations. So I do a lot of volunteer work for things that's, you know, mental health, dare to be vulnerable. I work a lot with a lot of different organs. I'm even an electrical contractor. So I meet people every day. So basically what I do is, how I explain it is just basically personal and professional development. And again, when people come, you know, people love networking. They love the word networking. They don't like the word mental health. Again, they get a very, mental health. Well, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need any of that. But like I said, when they start coming, they go, wow. So I position it where it's personal and professional development. And that's what one of my partners basically said, hey, we're going to attract a lot more people if we say this and not that, mental health. And I said, okay, that makes sense. Because a lot of people are like, whoa, I'm fine. Again, sun dies on a Sunday. I'm working on Monday. I'm fine. Nothing affects me. I'm a rock. But internally,
yeah,
so
I can't even imagine that, man. I can't. My son came close to passing away twice. Fuck,
I can imagine.
Dude,
Yeah.
Of course you can. You went through it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Awful. I'm very, very sorry you had to go through that, brother.
Well, you know what? I don't think I went through it to this day. So it's something that I still have internally, that it's something that I'm still working on. It's that stone box that I keep inside, Pandora's box, as they say.
Yeah.
And if I open that box up, I don't know what's going to happen. It's something, and again, there's a ton of traumas in my life. You have a ton, I have a ton. And again, how we were raised is shut the fuck up, get out there, keep working, keep hustling, keep being something, pretend whatever you do, just keep going. So, you know, when I approach people, I tell them what they do. Again, I have programming that I've already had my programming that's booked out to 2031. So everything that I do is, you know, it's all about building confidence. So we have 4 pillars. There's a lot of groups that have 7 pillars. There's a lot of groups that have 10. I like simple. I'm a dude. I like simplicity. So we have strength and discipline. That's 1 pillar. We have emotional intelligence and relationships. We have financial intelligence and strategic thinking, and command and presence. So we have an assessment that we're launching, and basically people take this assessment and they figure out, hey, I'm strong at this, but I'm weak at this. So we take those weaknesses and we build on those weaknesses to build our confidence. I might be amazing at standing on stage and talking to people, clients, marketing, but oh my God, I suck at taxes. Oh, I'm not good at taking that money and making it grow. So we all have something that we don't have the best confidence in. And that's fine to hire other people, but we should have that knowledge at least to build that confidence up and not just listen to everybody. In the last, God, I would say in the last 3-4 years, I've listened to people. I've lost a lot of money. Now I'm taking that responsibility in my own hand and I'm building that confidence up to be that better man. So go ahead, Nicky.
There's a lot you said there about yourself, and I want to just bring something for you.
Absolutely.
Because I want to help you. So I grew up with a father who was very much into personal development. He meditated twice a day since he was 18 years old. Started this in Iran. When he was younger, he was a lefty, but by his mid-20s, he was solidly a conservative righty type dude. And he just did courses, programs, you name it. And so I did courses, programs. I very much education, learning is an Iranian value. And so I've done a lot of work around this, releasing emotions, trauma, blah, 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 blah. There are 2 programs that you got to do them, brother. If this stuff's still locked in the Pandora's box, you got to get this resolved for yourself, because that's a ticking time bomb, man. That really is. So one is called the Hoffman quadrinity process. In Canada, it's taught out of Alberta.
Okay.
It's basically going back to all the traumas you had from the time you were born till 13. This course has been taught since the 60s. Some of the biggest mentors I've had in my life did this course, and it took them 12 years to convince me to do it. So I did it. It was amazing. The second one is a course for men by this Justin Sterling fellow. Now, he passed away, but 3 groups of men have taken his work and are teaching this weekend, and they're not trying to make a big buck off of it. They want just men to do it, but it is for men, and it is about going into your men stuff in that level. And each of these courses is under $1,000, and they're Hoffman's a lot more expensive than that, unfortunately. But there's one that's in kind of the west coast of the U.S. in July, and there's one in the west coast of Canada, I think, in April next year, and there's one in Maine in December.
Okay.
And they're all a derivative of the Sterling Men's Weekend. They're not. Only one of them is allowed to call itself that, because they're the ones that directly kind of came from the organization he built. But I have personally sent over 70 men to this, and the men that I've sent have sent 300-400 men to these programs. They are for men, and they're about dealing with that stuff in a masculine fashion, and also in a fucking safe fashion, because sometimes there've been men who've lost their shit when their stuff comes out. You know what I mean? Like big, strong, hulking, apex predator type men that have lost their shit when this emotional stuff came out, and you had to have a bunch of men be there ready to, ready to hold on to them before they hurt themselves or somebody else, right? But I'll tell you, man, these 2 programs would bring a level of peace to you, man, and I think you deserve that peace.
I appreciate that.
And
well, I'm not opposed to it, because again,
we can talk offline, and I'll be happy to talk to you about both. I mean, and I don't get a toaster for sending you to the course or anything like that.
No, for sure.
What I'm saying, it's like it's not one of those. It's not
because you and I are always pushing to excel ourselves and better ourselves to help other people. We should be taking these courses, and I'm a firm believer in all of that, because if I can't help myself, how the hell am I going to help you?
Honestly, bro. And and I want to just say this to you again. Of all the men, it was great to have all the men there in Ottawa. Of all the men that were there, I thought it was most important that you be there because of what you did. And I was sorry to see you need to leave in the middle of the meeting, because honestly, man, I just thought that the entire totality of the experience could have had you and I mastermind and do something even bigger. But
absolutely,
all good. And I think what you're trying to do is really important. I'd like to come to one of your meetings at some point.
Absolutely.
I'd like you to come to one of ours as well. And on the business end of things, like I'm really trying to get entrepreneurial men in particular to raise their business success, because I think that's really, really important. And that's frankly how I make my living, right? That's my main
Yeah, of
business
course.
that I do. So for all those reasons, I thought the connection you and I made was an important one, and I wanted to see it continue. Like when you left in the middle of that night, I just, in my mind, I just said, "Damn, I'm sorry he's leaving, and I'm going to make a point of reaching out when this is over, you know."
I
And we had
appreciate
to
that.
get on with the night, right? Because there was, as you recall, there was a lot of deep discussions going on that night, and I couldn't divide my focus at that time. But it's
Yeah,
important that that sort of thing happened, because look, man, the men that lead this stuff, that lead other men, frankly, need to pour into themselves more than other men do. They need to have others pour into them more than other men, because if we don't, we're screwed. We're totally screwed.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And you're right. We had a good connection, and honestly, I think we'll be able to do a lot of work together. And I look forward to having you come, even do a speaking engagement at Hyperactive. I think you'll get a lot out of it. You'll have fun.
Man, I first of all, speaking is one of the things I do for a living, but secondly, man, it's one of
Sure.
my favorite things in the world to do. Whether there's a financial benefit in it for me or not, I love to speak. I love to come to various things. I'm actually speaking in Ottawa on September 9th at a real estate
Okay.
conference. So maybe we can organize for me to stick around and find me a gym. We can go train together while I'm there.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you know, I'm doing that crazy bodybuilding stuff. I got to look like
How
you when I grow up, brother.
can we pause the conversation? How is that going? How's the bodybuilding training and
It's
diet
good,
going?
man. It's good. I mean, I'm on point. I'm doing everything that the
Good.
coaches are telling me to do. I train, like I told you, my son is my coach. Twice a week I go in and he trains me.
Awesome.
And I've got a man who coaches me, you know, day to day with what to eat, sleeping, gives me all the training routines. And I go and I do it, man. It's
Good.
there are days I don't want to, but I still do it. You know?
I'm up at 4:30 every morning. I'm at the gym between about 5 o'clock in the morning every day. I train about 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's inside of my world, I can't do that. But
Right.
and the way they're having me train is really fucking intense. Like um I grew up, you know, learning how to train in the 80s, right? 80s.
Yeah. Old school. Yep.
So the whole mentality around training then was go big, go heavy, and push hard, go to a certain number of reps. Going to failure was not something we did a lot. We would go and rack up the weights and try to get a number of reps. The form wasn't perfect, don't worry about it, not a big deal. I got hurt a lot, and I mean a lot. I hurt my shoulder, hurt my neck, hurt my back, hurt my knees, you name it, right? And when I started training with Amber, um, he just said, there's a reason why you've been hurt all these years. You don't know how to train right. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I train with Olympic gold medalists now. Like that's in my head, but I didn't say that to him. I'm like, okay, so what am I doing wrong? And he said, you're training in a way that is not ensuring your muscles get the best results. You're training in a way that's going to hurt you, because you're
Mhm.
trying to force a number when, you know, and a weight. He said, we're going to drop your weight drastically. And for everything, my weights went down drastically. And he said, you're going to go until you're going to go at perfect form. So no fucking around with your form when you get tired, and you're going to go until you cannot go. And maybe I'll help you get a few extra reps, which we would do sometimes, but not on every set, not the entire workout. So
Yeah.
my workouts right now, basically I do between 18 and 28 sets, depending on the day and the
Okay.
body parts
Set
I'm
swap.
working,
Okay.
total sets, and every set's to failure. Every
Okay.
fucking set. And by the time the workout is done, I have shocked my fucking nervous system. Like
Right.
I'm done. I have the protein drink immediately, like it's pre-made, sip it.
Yes.
Within an hour, I'm ravenous. I got to eat a meal number two. I've already eaten a meal number one. And throughout the day, man, I really need to sleep. And I've been studying these apex predator athletes, right? These guys that are at the highest level. So I'm a big soccer guy. There's this soccer player plays for Norway, Erling Haaland, right? I don't know if you've seen him. You follow any of the World Cup.
No.
So, dude, buddy's 25 years old. He's 6'5". He's Norwegian. He's a fucking Viking. He looks like a Viking, like the happy Viking, right? He is ridiculously strong. Guys are holding on to him and they can't. He just looks at him and he throws them off him. He never complains and that's, oh, penalty, penalty. Like all these piss-anti little soccer players dive and do that. And his speed is insane. Like I saw him decide that he was going to fucking run. You know what I mean? When his team got it, he was in the back. He was helping defend. He started sprinting and he passed everybody. These are all guys going full tilt. They're 20, 30, 40, 50. He goes in, the ball goes into him, puts in a header and he scores. So he sleeps 13 hours a day. All he eats is meats, honey, raw milk, and some veggies and some minor carbs. That's that. Like it's designed for him. He sleeps 13 hours a day. I'm like, yeah, fucking more sleep means more energy. More that I used to do this crazy, burn the candle at both ends, get up early, all that stuff. Man, I burnt out. There was a point where my body just couldn't fucking take it anymore. I had to stop training for 2 years. I was so fucked up. I was so hurt. Couldn't do anything, man. I don't want to do that anymore. I am staying injury free for the rest of my life. That's the plan.
Is it his name Ammer?
Ammer Camera. Ammer the Hammer,
Hammer.
they call him. That's his handle. Ammer the Hammer.
So I love his mentality, and that's basically how I train. So with Hyperactive, I call my training hyperactive hypertrophy, basically, and that's a training regimen that I give the guys. And it's basically the same thing as Ammer. It's high reps, 50 to 100 reps, 3 to 4 sets. And again, I have some of my guys who are like, hey, this is what I looked like 6 months ago. Here's what I look like now. Just fantastic. So I love his mentality. He does awesome. I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. So listen, man, what's the website for Hyperactive?
Hyperactive is www.hyper.
Nice. I like that. Hyperactive.men. All right.
And if anybody wants to connect, it's better@hyperactive.men for email.
All right. We'll make sure that we put all that in the show notes.
Awesome.
Shane, enjoy the conversation, brother. Thanks for bringing the fire and the heat.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
I look forward to connecting with you, man. I enjoy your company, and we always have a good laugh.
Amen. All right, and that's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to the Sovereign Man podcast. If you're ready to take charge of your life and become the man you've always wanted to be, we invite you to join the movement at sovereignman.ca.